Syberia is an adventure game that was released on the Xbox, PlayStation 2, PC, and many other systems. It was developed and published by Microids and was released on January 9th, 2002. The story follows Kate Walker, a lawyer from New York. She has come to the town of Valladolid to negotiate a takeover of a small toy company that makes mechanical, clockwork-like toys. Due to the death of the owner, she must find the secret heir once thought dead to finalize the contract. As usual, let's discuss the issues I had with the game before getting to the good stuff. The first problem I noticed when starting the game is that the controls felt a little stiff. I often got stuck on walls and objects, having to jiggle the thumbsticks around to get Kate to respond to be able to turn around and proceed through the game. Many times while playing, I had gotten completely lost on what I was supposed to be doing next. I would find items but have zero clue on how to use them or what to do to proceed. I did end up having to resort through a walkthrough a couple of times to figure out where I was supposed to be going and how to solve a particular puzzle. It would have been nice if Kate would have given audio hints on what to do or where to go. I found it difficult to figure out where the boundaries were in the various areas of the game. Oftentimes I would be running in a direction to see if the camera would shift, but I would just end up hitting an invisible wall. Other times you have to be very precise when moving to the next screen, as there seems to be only a small area that triggers camera changes. The last problem I had wasn't really a problem. It just made me a little confused. For some reason, the game runs in a smaller window than I assume it should. Every other 4:3 game I play fits the TV just fine, but this one was slightly smaller for some reason. Weird. Alright, now let's get on to what makes this game worth playing. First up, I found the graphics to be really beautiful and refreshing to look at. Everything seemed to be really highly detailed and overall nice to see. I was actually really surprised how good this game looked and couldn't quite figure out how they pulled it off. I think it might have something to do with the fixed camera positions and the lack of the moving pieces, but I'm not too sure.
Oh, many thanks indeed. I am most embarrassed for you to see me like this. I lack a certain completion. You see, nobody here found the time to polish off the finishing touches. Honestly, these days, we really have lost the art of good workmanship.
Yeah, maybe.
With whom do I have
The voice acting is top-notch in Syberia. Everyone sounds authentic and sincere. You will run into a variety of different accents and they all sound great, from Americans, Europeans, Russians, and the Clockwork toys also have their own style of speaking. They couldn't have done any better if they tried. Almost all of the puzzles were fun to play with and to try to figure out how to complete. Although I did have trouble figuring out a few, most of them were pretty well thought out. Most, if not all of the puzzles involve finding items and figuring out what to do with them, in combination of talking to NPCs who can provide some hints at times. Exploring was a blast. There's plenty of people to talk to as well as places to look around. You'll spend a lot of the time going through the conversations and just general exploration to find items that you will need to progress through the game to solve puzzles.
Yes.
The cutscenes were fantastic, some of the best looking and most enjoyable in any game I have played. They are just so beautiful and relaxing to watch. The main selling point for me when I saw it on the shelf was the general atmosphere and the setting of this game that it takes place in. The town of Valladolid and the toy shop have quite a few Clockwork toys to see and interact with. Most of the areas you explore seem to be well weathered and somewhat rusted, adding a cold feeling to the levels but also making it feel like it has some real history to the areas you visit. Overall, I found Syberia a joy to play through. I generally enjoy these slow-paced puzzle-solving games, and this was no different. It's almost like a point-and-click adventure game, but with a 3D world to move around and solve puzzles in. I will definitely say that this will not be a game for everyone, as the gameplay is slow and oftentimes leaves you exhausting all possibilities in figuring out the puzzles or what to do next. However, if you want a relaxing game to play, then you might just want to give it a shot. The game is selling around $5, and if you see it on a shelf, then take a look, as there aren't many games of this genre being made anymore, and Microids did a pretty good job with this one.